The following podcast is set for at least 1 hour. Introducing your hosts from Fort Worth, Texas, at a total combined weight of 430 pounds, Kevin and Chris Newell. The Cross Promo Pro Wrestling Podcast.
How's everybody doing out there in the wrestling land? I'm Kevin. What?
Bald.
You're missing your opening there.
I'm Chris. This is Bald. I mean Kevin.
We're the Cross Promo Pro Wrestling Podcast. Here to give you the recap of Smackdown. Quit staring at me. You're making me uncomfortable.
Okay.
You're talking about my haircut. Your haircut choices there. Gunther.
Wait, really? Huh.
Gunther-ish.
Oof.
Let me adjust my seat. I'll tell you what. All right, so. Really making me uncomfortable. All right, everybody. So we're here to give you the recap of Friday Night Smackdown, which took place here in Fort Worth. And it was an
Depending on who you ask.
Depending on who you ask. I mean, Drew McIntyre, who apparently had no clue in Dallas-Fort Worth area or North Texas where in the hell he was. I'm going to give him a pass on this one.
That sounded like a pretty bad cough. You might need... You want some water for it?
Shoot. Thank you, by the way. So, yeah, but more on that here in a little bit. So
yeah, that's like close to the main event almost.
Yeah, very close. And if you do hear any barking in the back, that is our Lucha Perro, or Perro Lucha, wrestling dog.
One of the two.
We're working on a name for him. Oreo. Anyway.
Yeah. Not sponsored.
Not sponsored, by the way. That's why I had to rip the label off the bottle.
Yeah.
We don't get any sponsorship around here. We're kind of hoping for some. That'd be great. But, hey, not begging. All right. So, with that, Chris is going to go ahead and dive in here to the results for Friday Night Smackdown.
So, again, from the Dickies Arena in Fort Worth, not Dallas.
Hang on. Just so we're clear, it was in Fort Worth. Because Joe could not stop saying where it was. Granted, I don't mind our town or our city getting recognition. That's great. But he's saying it like every second he had. He was like, sold out crowd here in Fort Worth, Texas. Fort Worth. I don't mind getting our town getting recognition. But when it's like almost every single 5 minutes, it makes me think we should be in Dallas.
I don't know. I thought they normally did that.
Not all the time. Not as much as Joe was going on.
Maybe it's a Joe thing.
Anyway, I digress. Continue, son. Sorry.
So we started off with another John Cena promo. He has 26 appearances remaining after this. If we're
counting down, he's got 26 left.
Yeah. After his appearance on Raw, and now this.
Right.
So he did the whole note thing again, something about how his message was rude or something.
No, that the announcer ain't getting it right because he's like the last champion, blah, blah, blah. It was
he's the last undisputed WWE champion.
Look, you can be a heel, just don't be that excessive.
Yeah. At some point you had Randy Orton come out, try to, I guess, cheer Cena up. He's thinking he's in a bad mood or something. And eventually it came to saying that Cena should raise a kid or be a father or something. And he took offense to that.
I laughed at that one. It was like...
It was funny.
Because that's, him and Nikki Bella, when they dated, they didn't see eye to eye on that. It was hilarious.
But Cena, he was offended by that and basically replied or responded or whatever, saying that he ended up spending the last 25 years raising the audiences or crowds' children. So
And then at
that's
one
why he
point,
couldn't raise his own, I guess.
and a 6-year-old kid flipped him off.
He's like, "Oh, how classy," or something like
Yeah,
that.
and then he was insulting everybody's parents. He was doing a lot of more crowd work than focusing on the fact you have Randy Orton in the ring talking to you. And he just, I don't know, just jabbing at the fans a lot. We get it. You don't like the fans. You didn't need us. Blah, blah, blah. Can we move on to a different thing now? That was when you had a feud with Cody Rhodes. You now have a feud with Randy Orton. And you've got to be more focused on Randy Orton more than anything because something could come out of nowhere.
And so I think something did come out of nowhere. But there was a challenge made after that. That was a little bit more back and forth, but eventually you had like the announcement or challenge for match at Backlash, Cena versus Orton for the title. Undisputed title.
Undisputed.
Even though they only recognize it as
The undisputed. Yes.
Yeah.
Everybody gets your play of words on that, son.
yeah.
It's okay.
But after that challenge was made, Cena did a cheap shot to Randy Orton, and that whole promo ended with an RKO from out of nowhere.
See, told you. Should have focused on Randy being in the ring there.
Yeah,
No.
that was what he was trying to use the belt. So then after that, you had a match between Fraxium, who's now on Smackdown.
Debuted on SmackDown, yes. I don't know if we're doing a draft.
And the funny thing is, right before they said that, I was like, I was saying something about whenever they get called up, as if they didn't get called up.
Yeah, and I said, he just said they're new to SmackDown, so they got called up.
Yeah. Let's see. But they were going against Los Garza, and they won. So they're on SmackDown now.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing. They haven't made any announcement if they're doing a draft or anything like that. So if you are out there watching us and everything, just let me refresh our chats here. See if anyone's out there.
I think someone said hi on the Kick chat.
Okay.
Hello?
But yeah.
I
By the
probably
way,
should
we
be
are
on.
streaming on YouTube. We are streaming on Twitch. We are streaming on Kick. We are streaming on Instagram. Those are the 4 we're streaming on right now. So feel free. Make a comment or anything. We appreciate it. Anyway, continuing on.
After that match, you then had this promo with Tiffany Stratton in the ring talking about her WrestleMania victory, where then you had Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill?
Jade
I
Cargill.
was very close, but yeah. She came out talking about how she wanted the title, and a match was made right then and there for the title, which in that match ended in disqualification when Naomi attacked Jade Cargill. So that rivalry doesn't seem to be done yet either.
It's not far from a long shot. But
we also had a return when
of sorts.
Yeah, when Nia Jax started attacking Tiffany Stratton. So it looks like she wants her belt back.
Yeah.
There was also a later on promo where, we didn't make its own individual note.
It was close to the main event where Naomi was just walking down in the backstage area and gets confronted by Naomi saying, "I don't care what you have against Jade, but when it comes to the WWE Women's title, stay out of my way."
Yeah.
Tiffany Stratton's mine, and then Naomi just repeated her new catchphrase, then proceed with caution. And it's like, is that what she's going to be saying the whole time? Is she going to be like Hodor from Game of Thrones, where all he says is his own name? When we found out later in the show, spoilers, it really wasn't his real name. But she's going to go around and say, "Naomi, how do you feel? Proceed with caution." Naomi, I'm getting married. How do you
Was he
feel?
like a
Proceed with
Pokemon?
caution.
Was he like a Pokemon?
No. Well, I guess he was a token Pokemon, but I digress on the show of that series. Continue.
Got him a little off subject there.
Just proceed with caution.
That's funny. Then you had Jacob and Solo come out, and you had Solo trying to take. Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
You had Solo trying to take credit for Jacob being there and his title victory, and we both noticed this side eye from
Jacob was just giving him this, dude, shut up. You didn't do this. And he kept going on and on.
But eventually he corrected Solo, saying that he would have gotten the title with or without him. And then LA Knight came out saying he wants the title back. Aldis came out. Oh, and before LA Knight, after LA Knight, you had McIntyre, who, said that they were in Dallas and all that.
Okay, yeah, let's reflect on that just a little bit more. Okay. Hang on. Let me get that fixed on the graphic here, because now we got McIntyre in there. So McIntyre comes out, and the first thing out of his mouth is Dallas, and it's like, Drew, please. We understand that match with Damian Priest kind of knocked a few things over in Vegas, but you're in Fort Worth, my guy. You're not in Dallas. But I gave him a break because it's like, look, you're hyped up because I guess you're going to be getting a big push or something. Just calm down. I mean, granted, he was in. I'll give him this. He was in the ballpark of where he was.
He was close.
He was close. Now, if he said anything like El Paso or Houston, it's like that is completely further south, man. But he was close, so I'm going to give him a break.
Considering how big Texas is, he really was close.
Yeah, I mean...
Like, he really was.
We'll give him a break there.
Let's see, lost my spot there for a second.
Forgot the graphic, sorry.
Oh, yeah. Then you had Nick Aldis come out correcting McIntyre.
Yeah, he was saying, okay, since you guys want to fight, you get in the back, get your trunks on, and lace up your boots, and then you will have a match tonight here in Fort Worth, as if correcting Drew like, Drew, you screwed up.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
And that's when he made that match, which was like second to main event.
Right.
Then after that, you had a match for the women's U.S. title, where you had Zelina Vega challenging for the belt. She had the secret Hervis at ringside. That word looks weird in text form, almost.
The way you see it in there.
Yeah.
Hervis.
Yeah, they were at ringside. They interfered. They got ejected from ringside. And that match ended in Chelsea Green losing the title to Zelina Vega by pinfall.
So we have a new United States Women's Champion in Zelina Vega. Congratulations, Zelina.
Then after that, you had Miz and Mello. Or Os him.
Pardon?
Os him, remember?
They were working on a title. Os him.
Let's see, what was the other one? Mello don't Miz. That was
Mello don't Miz had a better ring.
Yeah.
But Oz him.
Yeah. Os him tag team.
Os him. That is about as bad as Jericho when Jericho and Big Show teamed up, and it became Jericho. And the Miz teamed up with Big Show and became Miz Show. It is like the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
Yeah. See, you had him talk about how he had a plan for Mello, and then he went to the ring. And while in that ring, he talked about how he was basically complaining that he could have filled in a few of the blank spots at Mania, and instead they ended up going to Joe Hendry, and he called Joe Hendry an internet meme, and everybody stood up. Oh wait,
No, go ahead. You're on a roll here, and I got to mention something about what Miz had said.
And at some point, everybody stood up and as if they were looking for Joe Hendry, and I was looking for him.
I
to
thought
show
Joe
up soon,
Hendry was going to pop out.
but he didn't.
So what Miz was saying almost sounded as similar as what Karrion Kross was saying. On the show earlier this week, we were talking about how Karrion Kross went on this
I think
promo.
that was last episode, actually.
Last episode of the episode before, Karrion Kross went on a WrestleMania post show, just swearing up and down how they're giving all this to Logan Paul, whereas AJ Styles and Karrion Kross himself have put a whole lot of hard work into their career. And here's Logan Paul, but then he goes on this thing and says he could have faced Randy Orton at WrestleMania and all this other stuff. So the Miz was almost kind of saying the same stuff as Karrion Kross, but then a surprise came, correct?
Yes, a surprise return. Instead of Joe Hendry, we got Aleister Black. Or
Yes.
Malachi Black. But his name was Aleister Black in like the screen and the weird name thing at the bottom.
Weird name thing at the bottom.
I don't know what it's called. I just know that's the way their names go.
Didn't say a word.
Yeah, he did not.
Just Black Masked Miz.
Hmm?
That's the name of his finishing move. Black Mass. The spinning heel kick to the face.
Yeah, he did that to Miz. I was like, what? And then
I was just happy to have him his return. He did his old candle thing, and then he just rises up. That was awesome. It
yeah.
was good to see that again.
Then you had Belair being interviewed, and she basically talked about how she was injured, but when she gets back, she thinks she's going to end up seeing Rhea again. Yeah.
But it sounds like she's wanting to try to mend fences between Naomi and Jade, and it's like, honey, that ship has sailed. It's too late.
I think those two.
That's
hate
done
each
and
other.
over with.
Maybe she needs to proceed with caution.
She needs to proceed with caution on that one, yes. We're going to milk that joke dry. Hey, we got Little Loose in the
Hey,
Twitch
Little Loose.
chat. What's going on, Little Loose?
What's up?
Everybody check him out on his socials as well.
That's bald.
Not letting that go.
Yeah.
Continue reading.
See, the next match was LA Knight and McIntyre for #1 contendership of the U.S. title. And it went, I guess, pretty smoothly up until you had Solo attacking LA Knight and Priest attacking McIntyre. Now, Solo did that without being spotted, but when Priest attacked McIntyre, the ref caught that and ended the match in disqualification.
So costing LA Knight a chance at the United States Championship.
Yes.
I need to get a new chair, I swear. Chair keeps sinking. Sorry about that.
They ended up breaking the new WWE table, the new ones that they got.
Those seem to be falling apart easier now since WrestleMania. Have you noticed that?
You could say they broke them in.
Oh my God. The return of the dad jokes. Yes, the main event was amazing.
It was. It really was. And then Jacob kind of went in there and attacked everybody except Solo. Pretty much just cleared out the ring. You had R-Truth like in the... I'm going to say backstage.
What about backstage? Your phone's about to fall asleep.
Little Lou said that heels don't get caught, but faces do.
Unwritten, that's true.
That's how it seems to be
Except
going.
for the Zelina Vega match. That was different.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
See, and where he R-Truth seems to be kind of out of the loop.
Oh,
on
I
the
didn't.
Cena
I
thing.
didn't have a graphic for that because it was a really quick segment.
It was. But he basically said that when he grew up, he wanted to be like Cena.
And Jimmy Uso.
But you're already grown up.
Dog, you're already grown up.
As he walks away. Then you had the main event match, which is the match of the night.
I know. I just got so excited. I knocked the microphone around.
Oh, did it pick up on the sound?
It probably did. And I'm sorry if anybody were wearing headphones and trying to avoid getting in trouble for listening to us. And you may have gone slightly deaf.
Thanks, Louise.
I just Travis Scotted your ear. I'm sorry. Yeah,
Understood that
I'm
reference.
making that in thing. Thanks, Lil Loose.
Let's see. But yeah, match of the night, Street Profits, Motor City Machine Guns,
Yes.
and DIY.
Yes, hands down.
With a beardless Tommaso Ciampa.
Yes, that I couldn't get past that part. It was beardless Ciampa.
Yeah. For a second,
Shaved or a clean Ciampa.
yeah.
There we go.
We started on SmackDown a little late, so when we were skipping to the part with that, and
Yeah,
we
we
ended up skipping past the entrances.
Had prior engagement, so we were able to fast forward through the commercials and everything like that.
For a second, I didn't know if it was DIY or not, just because Tommaso didn't have the beard.
Tommaso threw you off.
Yeah. But at some point, you had a Dudley Boys reference by the Street Profits with the get the tables thing.
There was a lot of references to the previous
Table ladder chair match.
classic TLC matches.
Then at some point you had Ford diving out of the ring, aiming for Tommaso, but taking out everyone, because Tommaso was up on Angelo Dawkins' shoulders.
Right.
And then you had Ford hitting Gargano with a prosthetic leg.
That was funny.
And then you had, from Motor City Machine Guns, Skull and Bones on a table, which we kind of thought was they were going to... The spear... Yeah.
He's getting to that. Don't worry, Little Loose.
Yeah, that was... Yeah, there was a few notes before that, but it's good. Tommaso was like... Yeah, that was literally the next one. You had Tommaso hanging onto that clip thing with the belts, and then Dawkins speared him off of that. Unless I ended up getting the name wrong.
No, you got it.
Then you had Ford jumping onto a ladder and even climbing on that ladder sideways. So we had three guys.
I never saw three guys on one ladder before like that.
Three guys, one ladder.
Don't make it nasty.
Yeah. From now on, I'm going to refer to that incident as that, just to mess with you.
Don't make it nasty.
But in the end, we had the Street Profits retaining their title.
It was a great match, and
match. I feel like they deserved
1
it.
hour, no commercials.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I did not get note of that part.
That's okay.
But the match was good. I feel like even with commercials, that would have been really good.
It would still would have been good. Regardless, still we say it is match of the night.
Easy match of the night.
by far, hands down, and it very well could win.
I think
it depends on you guys when we put the vote out there. Match of the week.
It's already got my vote for match of the week.
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. I think it should be match of the week. But again, we'll get the votes out there. I want to say Saturday night after we get off our live. The polls will go up on Sunday. We'll close on Monday.
Or should I put them up for like immediately following Collision while we're doing that?
Yeah, actually, we could do that. That'd be good.
So immediately
where can they find the poll?
The poll I'm gonna do is gonna be in the Discord server because I have Discord. But if we do put out polls on our other platforms like Twitter and wherever else you can put polls up.
Better yet, we'll probably do the polls there. So if you guys want to vote on this, and we really, really do want you guys to vote on this. We really want more fan participation and listener participation in this. Email us or check out or email us that you want to join in our Discord, and we will send you a link to our Discord to join our Discord, as well as participate in the votes, because we will be doing voting every week at the end of every week for match of the week. And I know I explained this, I think, on Monday. So the way we're going to be doing that on Raw, NXT, Dynamite, TNA, SmackDown, and Collision, we will be voting on every one of those shows a match of the night. And at the end of the week, we're going to let you guys decide, out of those matches, which match should be match of the week. At the end of the month, we will have you guys vote again on match of the month. And then at the end of the year, we let you guys decide, out of the 12 matches that you had voted on for match of the month, which one should be match of the year. And I know Little Loose just said match of the year in his opinion.
It could be.
So far, right now, it could be.
if they somehow do not top that, then that will be match of the year. But it's
Wholeheartedly agree.
then he also asked for a link to the Discord, which
I think you.
come to think of it, we could just put out like a TikTok and have the Discord link in like the comments or in the
I'll let
description.
you take care of that part because I don't know how to do that part. That's all on you
Okay.
there.
I'll figure that one out.
That's all on you, sir. All right. Well, that is pretty much it for the recap for SmackDown. Good night, everybody. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. That's not the end of the show.
Roll credits.
Don't panic. Don't panic. Keep watching.
Got him with the fake out ending.
Listen to the bald man.
We lost like all of our viewers.
Please don't do that. Please don't do that. No.
You're the one that did the fake out ending. This
Very
time,
true.
This time it's not this one time it's not my fault.
That's very true.
This one time.
This one time, I'm not blaming you. I wonder how come we're not seeing.
Every other time it's been my fault though.
I'm trying to figure out why we're not seeing anything on.
Don't see it.
No, that's the live chat. Just checking out our YouTube. We're not seeing any live chat, so we're just thinking there may be something. I don't know. Anyway, so now we're ready to go into the news portion of our show. See what I did there? Transition.
Just realized that light. Like I can't get shit.
What?
There's like a little glare coming out of the corner.
We're still working on the lighting of this
Yeah.
after a week.
And there's a green screen back here. I'm poking at it. I poke.
Quit poking. Maybe it's the angle you have the light. I don't know.
I mean,
He's gonna check. He's gonna fix it mid-show.
yeah, I think
That's
that
better.
fixed it.
That's better. All right. Let's get on with the news. Let's stop with the distractions. I blame you for that.
The bright was very light. Or, no, it's the other way around. Light was very bright.
Light was very bright.
I said bright was very light the first time and... Ooh, shiny.
I really worry about you. You have become so easily distracted, it's not even funny.
You know what else is shiny?
What's that? You
Alright.
gotta go charge it. All right.
Deuces.
See you, little loose.
See ya.
Hang on, I'm trying to fix something here. Anyway, something going on with the news. Oh, that's why. Hang on, folks. Sorry. Like I said, we're still kind of... It's been a week. We're trying to get everything down within this week and all that. All right, so back to the news. Sorry about that. All right. It says here, WWE personality does not rule out being in the ring after 13 years. That's Byron Saxton, everybody. Let me just read you a little bit here in a few quotes. Byron Saxton, he was he was speaking to Metro, and being
Phone company?
no, not the phone company. It's some I guess interview podcast. But he was talking to them and was talking about how he was forced to retire from in-ring competition back in 2012. And he had this to say. And it's two big, long quotes, so bear with me here on this one.
The quotes is something I do not miss about the news. Like, even in my own... When I was doing the news TikToks, most of the time I would just paraphrase it. Or whatever. Whatever the
Okay.
term for that is.
Sorry. Just noticing something here with the graphic.
Is it upside down?
There we go. Fixed it. There we go. Anyway, he was saying, Byron Saxton was saying, of course, quote, "Of course, we all hear the famous quote all the time, never say never, right? Which is true, so I will not say never, because the one thing The one thing anyone who steps in the ring can tell you is that bug, that rush that you get from the crowd never leaves you. Are you at peace with not competing? Sure. Are you okay with not competing? Yes. However, there's always that little part of you that misses just getting a bunch of someone in the face, getting a punch. I think someone had mistyped his quote here. Basically, getting a rise out of someone after he punches him in the face. So you never know. And then he continues on saying, I like to believe that I maintain respectable level of physical conditioning. But of course, if I were to actually consider getting in the ring, that's a completely different level of conditioning as opposed to hopping on a treadmill or an elliptical. But, listen, I never know what tomorrow brings, and that's the beauty of life, end quote. So, Byron Saxton possibly coming back to the ring and retaliating against those he interviews, I guess.
That would be funny. Gets one rude interview.
Yes.
Interviewee?
Interviewee. Yeah.
Yeah. And then he just starts a fight with him.
Yeah. Think if New Day picks on him, what happens? That'd be hilarious.
He's going to team up with Big E.
He's going to team back.
That's actually
The commentating team. I love it.
The commentators.
The commentators. So you remember Brian Cage, right?
Face
AEW?
paint guy.
Yeah, the guy that couldn't tell what kind of gimmick he was going to be wearing on his face paint. Ultimate Warrior, Terminator, whatever the heck. Same thing with his pants. He was wearing Wolverine pants at one point.
Yeah.
Bless the guy's heart, but he needs to decide on one thing.
I think he dropped the face paint recently.
Really?
I think in some of his more recent AEW appearances, he's dropped the face paint. Again, I haven't been watching much AEW aside from,
From what we've been watching.
and notes. So it's like,
Well, anyway.
he doesn't have face paint there?
Well,
If that is him.
That is indefinitely him. But here's the reason. We haven't, he's been out of action and because he was injured. But he could be out a little bit longer than anyone had expected in AEW.
Yeah.
And this is reported, so we're going to take this with a grain of salt,
Allegedly.
by Dave Meltzer.
Allegedly.
You're doubling down on that allegedly, aren't you?
No.
So according to Dave Meltzer,
I know Cornette just does not seem to like Dave.
Jim Cornette does not know. He thinks his star ratings are ridiculous. But again,
We're not throwing shade at anybody.
no, we're not. So according to Dave Meltzer of Wrestling Observer Newsletter, Brian Cage's injury has become more serious than initially thought. He had a torn quad, and not a knee injury. So he tore his quad like Triple H.
Yeah.
When it was the Monday Night Raw, Chris Jericho, He Who Shall Not Be Named teaming up against Stone Cold Steve Austin and Triple H. And during that match, Triple H tore his right quad. Left quad. I'm sorry, left quad.
Yeah.
Let's see, and that's usually a 1 year repercussion period, but Brian Cage is trying to battle back quicker, because Triple H took 8-9 months to recuperate his torn quad,
Yeah.
and get it back into shape, and he got back in shape just in time for the Royal Rumble, and move on to WrestleMania. Turns out. When he got injured, he was going in working a match in Los Angeles against Chris Masters. Many of you know the one of the Master Lock and thought he was like a Da Vinci painting or something like that back in the day. But on the initial pickup, it was the left leg that buckled, and he felt the tear on his left leg. He described it as like tearing a piece of paper.
That sounds not fun.
No, it's actually it sounds like it's quite
the opposite
painful.
of fun.
The opposite of fun. So it will be. He thinks he can make it in time for All In Texas, but I don't know. He's got to take some time off to heal.
Is he trying to beat Triple H's record?
I don't know. I don't think it's a competition on how quickly someone can heal. The
How
dude,
quickly can you come back?
the
after
dude may
tearing
think
the
he's
paper of your
Wolverine,
leg?
but he's not Wolverine. He's not.
I think Wolverine, not just that, but I think Wolverine probably would have been back by now.
Well, the reason why this is brought up is because Brian Cage has recently spoken about that he did undergo surgery, and he's back in the gym working out right now. So he's really trying to be like Triple H and trying to re-heal. And I know it's not good to be comparing him to Triple H, but that's the only quad tear that we are familiar with that is well known anyway amongst wrestling fans.
Yeah, it's like the biggest one.
Yeah.
And I can't think of another. So.
All right. So in TNA news,
They're
the
not.
the
turns
Hardy
out
Boys.
They're not going to call it Impact anymore.
No,
They're going to call it. They're going back to their old name of TNA.
TNA Wrestling. But the Hardy Boys.
That's old news, though.
Yeah. Well, this is kind of old news since it's how it was a week ago. No one bust out with a song or dance, please. The Hardy Boys had met with WWE during WrestleMania 41.
What are they doing with WWE?
This was brought up during Matt Hardy's podcast, the Extreme Life of Matt Hardy podcast, and he was talking about the meeting that him and Jeff had with WWE. I'm going to read some of it now, quoting, "We go back from WrestleCon. We just have enough time. I shave, I shower, and then we get in the car. WWE sent a little limo over to get us. We go to WWE headquarters. We sit there. We do 90 minutes of work with WWE, and we see some people over there, whatever. This ends up being about 2 hours by the time we get back. So, I don't know. Could we be seeing the Team Extreme coming back into WWE, especially after that TLC match tonight? I mean...
Imagine if the Hardys have another TLC match.
No, I don't think they got another one in them, to be honest. In my opinion, I don't think so, because I witnessed that TLC match. Not personally, but I watched the pay-per-view. I watched their TLC matches, the classic ones they had with the Dudleys and Edge and Christian at SummerSlam and WrestleMania. And I don't think they got another one in them. I really, really don't. I mean, all due respect, I think what they're wanting to do is retire, and they want to retire where they got their big break, and that was in WWE. I mean, heck, when Jeff started wrestling, he started wrestling at the age of 16 in WWE, and he faced Razor Ramon on Monday Night Raw.
Razor Ramon hasn't been with WWE for a while.
Scott Hall, if anyone wants technicalities.
Yeah. So.
Anyway, moving right along. So earlier in the week, we did report about Karrion Kross and his promo that he had.
That got him in trouble, didn't it?
No, it did not. Turns out that there have been people that have been purchasing a lot of his shirts.
That increase. Oh, he's
he's getting a push. I think personally, he's going to be getting a push here real soon. Karrion Kross. I'm actually looking forward to that because after that promo and what he's been doing since AOP had gotten released,
these recent weeks with that rivalry with Logan Paul and AJ
I'm enjoying
Styles.
it. I really am. And he's done a lot of hard work, and I mean the guy was released, and when he came from NXT to WWE, he got this weird Road Warriors gimmick, with a mask and everything. And we're like, okay, this is a dramatic 180 from where he was in NXT. Now they're giving him a crazy outfit gimmick. And where's Scarlett? Turns out Scarlett was released. And then he ended up getting released. And then he got brought back, and Scarlett got brought back. So it's like he's been brought back, and he's paid his dues. Give him the push, because after that promo that everyone saw, and it went viral, then, push him. So here's they're planning for more TV time with him now. WWE is. According to WrestleVotes Radio, fans can expect him on TV more on Raw. We could see a Logan Paul rivalry with Karrion Kross. I would look forward to that. There was a quote about that from WrestleVotes Radio, saying, "Everyone keeps telling me I need," or what he's. If you don't remember what he said during the post WrestleMania, saying, "Quote: Everyone keeps telling me I need to become undeniable, and when I finally do, WWE ignores it."
Yeah.
Then during that time, he took aim at AJ Styles, accusing him of not using, basically talking about the match at WrestleMania. And then continue on by saying, quote, "Sometimes to do the right thing, you have to do the wrong thing." And then he added on saying, AJ's refusal is just a result of his narcissism. And then ended it with ended it talking about WWE management. To the guy in the truck wearing a suit and tie, go F yourself. That's from Killer Kross. Killer Kross was his original character name in NXT. So after he had made that promo, that video, and went viral, fans are starting to back him. And a lot of people are saying, his shirt sales, his merch and everything, it is starting to increase, and it's climbing. So I'm actually looking forward to this push and seeing what possibly could happen. I mean, if they're gonna do another draft, move him back to SmackDown, Karrion Kross against Aleister Black.
Yeah. They could do that.
Karrion Kross, and if they do move him back to SmackDown, Karrion Kross against Uncle Howdy. The rivalries you can come up with just that guy alone after that promo. Also, this was, I don't want to say somewhat breaking news, but it was put out earlier this afternoon in regards to Gunther on Twitter or X, however you go about it, don't really matter.
Twitter, formerly X.
Adam Pearce had came out on a video speaking on behalf of WWE.
You know that weird sign thing where you can a petition or whatever, right?
Yeah.
We could start one of those and call it Twitter, formerly X, and the point of it is to change the name back to Twitter.
Yeah, I don't think you know who would like it, but that's neither here nor there. So Adam Pearce came on.
Because X is a stupid name.
Unless you're Wolverine.
Well, it's
Weapon X, or Deadpool's X-Force.
well, that's Wolverine though.
Yeah.
And he's
so
part of the X-Men.
We're going completely off subject here.
Yeah, we are.
So Adam Pearce went on to say that Pat McAfee is doing okay, and he's right now out covering the NFL draft, which is probably still going on. And Michael Cole is going to continue to be at ringside to deliver great commentary. And then confirmed and said, "I have made the decision to fine and suspend Gunther indefinitely." There are no specifics as far as to the amount that the fine is, but the suspension is indefinitely. So we may not be seeing the Ring General anytime soon. So this is probably a good time for Kaiser to kind of step up a little bit more.
It could be, yeah.
This could be Kaiser's time to shine right now and try to get a mid-card title or something. Who knows?
Yeah.
All right. Next up in the news, Braun Breaker has got something against Travis Scott. Now, many of you
I
know
don't really blame him.
Travis Scott kind of went on his own
He did like
during
music and stuff for
WrestleMania 41, but during the Elimination Chamber had hit Cody on the side of the head so hard that it gave him a black eye and busted his eardrum. And that didn't sit right with a lot of fans. Didn't sit right with Bubba Ray on
and as
Busted Open Radio, because he's like, there should not be a celebrity that goes into that ring and goes into business for himself and does that to a wrestler and not expect payback, or what they call in wrestling a receipt.
Yeah. And then again, the point I was making of how he responded to that criticism of he shouldn't have done that. It was
Yeah.
like, all right, I'll do it to you too, old man, or whatever, something like that.
Well, he said a few expletives too, but it's like, you really want to double down and say that to Bubba Ray Dudley, a man who survived ECW, helped mold ECW what it is today? Have you not been watching LFG?
No.
Have you, Travis Scott? Have you seen how he handles people and talking about wrestling and everything? I wouldn't be messing with Bubba Ray. Personally, I really wouldn't.
Yeah.
Anyway, Braun Breaker was on a show called Gorilla Position and was asked if there were any celebrities he would like to spear the soul out of. He said, and I'm quoting here now, I believe Travis Scott. I believe we owe him one, don't we? Yes, we do. Now, so whenever he decides to come back, the receipt for that burst eardrum, yeah, he's going to get it. So,
Oof.
Travis Scott, you better fiend. Look out for Braun Breaker.
I don't know what fiend means.
That's the name of the song for WrestleMania 41.
Yeah, that's all I know about it.
Just saying.
If it means like dodge or something, but maybe.
Well, you better try something because, you know.
He needs to try something.
Hang on here. All right. And for the last bit of news.
It's WWE.
You okay?
Yeah.
I know it's late, but damn. Anyway, WWE, some veterans of WWE are getting upset over this new Netflix show, Unreal.
Oh, that's right, the curtain pulling back thing.
The pulling the curtain back. I think the purpose, honestly, of the show that they had come up with the concept is they're getting tired of fans complaining about how storylines are going. And in doing so, they're like, the fans don't understand the process it takes to write a show, produce a show, get the matches going, because they're planning like months ahead. They get this one pay-per-view or a whole year of pay-per-views, and they're going by pay-per-view, by pay-per-view, by pay-per-view, by week, by week, by week, how the story is going to fold out to get to that pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Now, some fans may understand that. Some are like, well, okay. Well, how do they do that? Well, that's going to be shown on WWE Unreal. It's going to be on Netflix. It is a 10-episode series, much like Stranger Things or any series on Netflix.
Stranger Things was 10 episodes?
Yeah, it was 10 episodes. But on WrestleVotes Radio, on WrestleBinge, upcoming Netflix documentary was talked about on their show. And you had Joey Votes and TC saying that some veterans and longtime employees within the company have expressed discomfort and everything like that with this show concept of pulling back the curtain and exposing what's going on behind the scenes with WWE. And there's also saying it was noted that quite a few people are unhappy with the announcement and feeling that the revealing it could impact the mystique in
Impact.
impact, but it would affect the mystique and the integrity of a show.
If only they could do something like this with boxing or with the Super Bowl.
If only.
Or I mean,
Lost my place here. Well, they're saying it's going to spoil the magic with the fans,
sorry.
and it's kind of like a magician showing how he did that magic trick.
So here's how I made the cards do this. Here's how I knew which card was yours.
Here's how I made that elephant disappear. That kind of thing.
That would be some kind of magic trick.
That would be.
I disappeared an entire elephant.
You try to figure it out. So that's basically what they're doing. I mean, what are your thoughts on all this? You know, you have people that have been with the company for a very long time. You've got veteran wrestlers that are like, I don't know why they're doing this. Why are they pulling back the curtain to expose secrets of the business of how we do matches or how we plan events and everything like that? What do you think about that?
I mean, it's interesting. It's just I don't really know why they needed to do it in the first place. You know?
Well, I mean, again, you heard of the backlash that Triple H was talking about when it came to wrestling fans that were upset over WrestleMania and how it came out.
Yeah.
Me personally, and I've said this many, many times this week about WrestleMania, as a fan, am I upset that John Cena won the belt from Cody? Yes, a little bit. But it's a part of a story. It's a small little snippet or a little bit of a story that is attached to a complete and total novel of a bigger story.
And there have been some really long-going stories.
Think of it.
The Shield, for example.
Yeah.
Like that and Roman Reigns, and they keep calling back to that. Like even during like his rivalry with Cody, with Rollins and all that. And now we're seeing that happen again.
Yeah.
Or Cody's callbacks to his earlier career in WWE before he left, and yeah.
All the professional wrestling is just athletic storytelling.
Yeah.
I don't call it a man's soap opera. That's just a cop out.
No, I don't even know what a soap opera is.
I just call it athletic storytelling, because because essentially, yes, you have to build the matchup by doing promos, by telling people, "Hey, come see this match." You want to come see this match? I mean, Jim Cornette put it eloquently this way: you see two guys fighting. One guy is a complete jerk, and you know who he is, and you hate him. The other guy is a guy just as big as him, and he's from your hometown.
You want the good guy to win.
You want your guy to win. You want your hometown guy to win, and you want to see these guys fight. You know, and that's basically kind of in a way what wrestling is. It's kind of fighting in general, but
it's fighting, but with a story.
But with a story. So with professional wrestling, you've got athletic storytelling. You're promoting a match, okay? And to get there, you got a pay-per-view, and you got this one big match coming at the end of the month. How are you going to get people to come to see this one big, huge match at the end of the month? You have to do promos. You have to tell stories. And then when it all comes down and gets to that point, you got to tell an even bigger story in the ring with your body. You don't do it much with words. You do it with your body language, how how your body's reacting to moves and everything like that, facial expressions. They can see that you're in a submission hold and it hurts, but they want to see it on your face. The fans do, so they can understand what's going on. So when it comes to that, that's what a lot of these veterans are talking about. Is you're taking that away from the fans. There are some fans that are like, no, I actually want to see how things are done behind the scenes. Like, how were they able to do this? How were they able to do that? How were they able to get Jey Uso from Royal Rumble all the way to WrestleMania and win the title? You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it starts from months before. So, you know, it's just that kind of thing, and we get to see it. It may succeed as a show on Netflix. We don't know. But
I mean, if people don't want to know how it's done, they don't have to watch the show.
exactly, it is just like listening to something on the radio. Yes, people still listen to radios. Or watching something on TV. You don't like it? Change the channel. Stop watching it and go find something else if you don't like it. There are some, I mean, for example, for one, I don't like the Undertaker Brock Lesnar WrestleMania 30 match. I didn't like it because Undertaker at one point had a concussion, and he regrets losing to Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
He thinks Brock Lesnar was not the one to take away the streak. It should have been Roman Reigns to take away the streak.
That would have been better, yeah.
Or even better, Bray Wyatt as the Fiend.
That
Would have been a
would
good
have
passing
been
of the
best one.
torch. But they already had their WrestleMania match. Bray Wyatt and Undertaker. That's when, you know, that happened. But I honestly don't ever want to see that match. I saw it once, and I'm not wanting to see it again because I'm a long, dedicated Undertaker fan. I saw him debut at Survivor Series in 1990. That's when I really started picking up on wrestling a lot more when I was watching it. And I was starting to get the characters, starting to know the characters and the wrestlers and everything and the moves and all that. And starting to understand what happens and everything. And then Undertaker comes along and it's like, wow.
Yeah.
So I've been there from the beginning and the end of Undertaker's career, and was a big in-ring career, and I was a big fan of the streak. And when I saw it go down the way it did, I was honestly crushed. It was like, wow, this is how it ends, with a guy that's hardly ever there, a part-timer, and I never, ever want to see the match again. If I watch WrestleMania 30 again, I'm watching the...
He's going to skip over the...
I'm going to skip over that match. I'm going to watch the Daniel Bryan Triple H match, and then one of the only good triple threat matches, that's Daniel Bryan against Batista and Randy Orton. And in both of those matches, spoiler, by the way, in both of those matches, Daniel Bryan won because he was getting a big push. So I say, you know, bring on the show. I don't mind watching the show, but it's still not going to disrupt my illusion or magical sense or whatever of how I feel about WWE and professional wrestling, because
magic sense.
I've been a wrestling fan for 38, or actually no, not 38, sorry, 35 plus years. And I started watching in at the end of the golden era, throughout the
explosion of the mega powers or something like that.
Yeah, that's when it started, when the golden era was on the decline and the new generation came in. I was there during the Monday Night Wars. I was there during the Attitude Era. I was there for the Ruthless Aggression. I was there for the PG era, for the reality era. I was there for every single era you can conceivably think of. You know, except for whatever era Taylor Swift is currently in right now, because I really don't care. But
she has era thing too?
I don't know. But we're getting off subject. But personally, me, I say I look forward to the show. Because if you're wanting to talk about, complaining about pulling back the curtain and wrestling and everything like that, look at Tough Enough, the first season.
Yeah.
If that didn't pull back the curtains further enough, or you're complaining about this show coming up, watch Tough Enough. You're watching these people who are wrestling fans.
And then what's their thoughts on like YouTube videos about this this sort of thing? YouTube videos on behind the scenes and whatnot.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on too. So I mean, how
Or
can you,
GM mode. That's another thing.
yeah, how can you be upset about something like that? And I'm not defending or taking any sides. I'm just saying, you know,
yeah,
that's pretty much my rant.
that was his little.
I'm
we make sure he has one at least once an episode.
bottom line, I'm looking forward to the show.
That's the bottom line, because Stone Cold says.
Well, I am bald.
He admits, hey. I remember one time you shaved your beard. Someone in the TikTok chat said you look like Stone Cold.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
I remember those names. You know. Not going to repeat them.
Yeah.
So, alrighty. Well, again, what are your thoughts on SmackDown tonight? I'm looking at the wrong area here. Sorry.
What are your thoughts on SmackDown?
But what are you guys' thoughts on SmackDown? You can get in touch with us on our social media
I
sites.
kind of wonder if the mic picked up on that, because
Probably.
I don't know, because it was kind of more on the side of the mic or behind it. But
Let me get back to normal here on some things. And we're back there. Okay, there we go. All right, so if you guys want to get in touch with us, feel free to. We'd love to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts about this week in wrestling? What are your thoughts about anything that we have covered or talked about in tonight or the previous episodes? Just drop us a message. You can message us on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok. You can even email us at
crosspromopod@gmail.com.
one of these days you're just going to get it right off the bat. We've done this for about 2 to 3 years now, and you keep forgetting. He's my son. I love him to death, but geez. But yes, you can contact us on email as well. Definitely, if you guys, we do want you guys to participate in the voting of Match of the Week, as well as Match of the Month and Match of the Year. We'll be doing that on our Discord. So if you will please let us know, message us. We will get you the link to our Discord so you guys can participate, because we want to hear from you guys. You guys are wrestling fans too. You guys clicked on us, and we do greatly appreciate it. If you're listening to us, we do greatly appreciate that you clicked on us. You can find our podcast on Apple. You can find it on Amazon Music. I about said Amazon Prime Video. Wow. Because I've been watching
Video.
Reacher. Because I've been watching that show Reacher. Okay.
It's better than Amazon Home Video.
Anyway, you can get us on Amazon Music. You can get us on Spotify, as well as iHeartRadio, and there's plenty of others. I'll probably put out a video on where you can find our podcast to listen, as far as to watch, as well, and our social media sites. We'd love to hear from you guys, because again, you guys are wrestling fans too, and we want to hear from other wrestling fans, their opinions. There is no right or wrong opinion. We welcome either or, because not everyone is a CM Punk fan. I've come across that, even though I am a CM Punk fan. And I know a lot of people are going to drop in the comments now, how could you be one, and list all this stuff. I'm not saying it to get any clout. I'm not doing this to get any anger. It's just my opinion on who I like. And I will not judge you if you like Logan Paul. I'm not going to judge you. You're a wrestling fan. when you boil it all down, you're a wrestling fan. You love to watch it. We love to watch it too. And we also love to talk about it. Hence the show. Over there.
It's like up
There.
there.
Ish. Right there. So, again, reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you guys. And again, we will be here tomorrow night for the recap of Collision. A lot of things happening on Collision, I understand. A lot of things going on. The whole thing with FTR taking on Paragon
Yippee.
tomorrow. So we're going to see what happens there. Hopefully 20 guys don't storm the ring like they did on the beginning of Dynamite, which was really, really
I remember there
confusing.
was one time, and I don't know if what's going on, but there's been a few times where they've just had the whole. I'm not super close to the mic, but there's been a few times where they've used the phrase about the entire locker room's out here, like one. I don't.
But it was like probably a quarter or half of them, because I've seen their page of their roster. If the whole entire locker room is out there, they would be in the ring, on the floor, up the ramp, and on the stage. That
Which
is
is
how
funny.
many people they have on their roster.
They have more guys than they know what to do with,
Yeah.
and they don't know what to do with the guys they already have. But that's beside the point.
But, yeah,
Uh,
we're not promoters. We're not promoters or wrestlers, so
Or-
Tony Khan's got some kind of method to his madness. I don't know what it is, and I don't think hardly anybody does. But
But he is surprised that it works.
he really is. Look at him. Look at him when he does press conferences. I'm serious.
I wonder if he still looks like that.
He will still have like this look in his face, like, like utterly surprised or shocked.
Shockmaster.
As opposed to, Shockmaster may pop up and he'll be still surprised,
Well, he is the master of shock.
Yes.
So
Anyway. All right, folks. So we're going to go ahead and head on out of here. But, what is so funny?
he just randomly burst through one of the walls in Tony Khan, right? Tony Khan's house. And and that's
Okay, he is Shockmaster. He's not the Kool-Aid Man.
why can't he do both?
No.
Come to think of it, if that gimmick worked, they could have had him do Kool-Aid commercials.
Oh my god.
Be like the Kool-Aid version. Again, like how Macho Man had the Slim Jims, he would have had Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid.
Yeah. That could have worked.
Oh my god. Okay. All right,
If they
folks.
didn't get sued by Disney or Lucasfilm or whatever, because I got Glitter Stormtrooper. But
Yeah. All right, folks. Well, we're going to go ahead and we're going to get on out of here. We got to get some rest and get ready for Collision. And plus, also,
Yeah,
Rebellion.
we're gonna need that rest for Collision.
We're going to need the rest for Collision and Rebellion. TNA Rebellion this Sunday. We're going to definitely get to watch that, see what happens. Hopefully, we'll definitely probably be there, probably be live Sunday night to go over Rebellion. And definitely be with you guys tomorrow night to go over Collision. So, for the Cross Promo Show, I'm Kevin,
I'm Chris.
and we gone. You missed your cue.
Oh, we'll do that again then. He's
It's too
Kevin.
late.
I'm Chris.
We gone.
I did it that time. It worked. First try. Right?
You missed your cue, though.
What? I didn't miss it. I did that first try.
Uh-huh, okay. Be sure to check us out on all of our social media sites. Love to hear from you. See you tomorrow.